Hello, oil whisperers. It's Lisa Keller. It's 8:30. It's not Wednesday. It's Thursday. Wi-Fi was not my friend last night, but you're my friend now because you're going to join me on Thursday night for an edition of Wellness Wednesday. Because you know what? We can do anything we want around here. We can celebrate Wellness Wednesday on Thursday. Hey, Allie, don't you agree? Michelle Davis, you told me you couldn't join tonight. I was all bummed out, and here you are. I'm glad you're here. We can celebrate Wellness Wednesday any day we want. My friend Paula Wells is here. Guys, I'm going to get a little rowdy this evening. I might get a little worked up because the topic that I am going to talk to you about, I feel like is the most important message. You're at work. Shh, I won't tell anyone, Michelle. I won't tell anyone. My friend Denise is here. Tonight's message is the most important message that I will ever share with you. Hands down, there is going to be no message that I ever tell you that will be more shared with other people. I'm hoping that you tag other people and tell them to watch this. I'm hoping that you help me spread the word about what I'm about to tell you to everyone. Because the one thing that I know for sure is that by ourselves, we can make this much of an impact, okay? Don't underestimate that impact that we can make on ourselves and on our own families, but the power, the true power is making sure that other people have and know this information too. So I'm so glad that you're here. I'm gonna get myself all riled up. Guys, what I'm about to tell you tonight, I didn't used to know. 4 years ago, and I have a pile of stuff because I'm gonna go shopping with you, okay? But I have a pile of stuff over here, right? I've got a pile of stuff that we're gonna take a look at and we're gonna examine together. That's not even the half of it. I'm dying from the stench of it all sitting right here, to be honest with you. All this stuff was in my cupboards. It was what I cleaned with, what I rubbed on my kids, what I sprayed on my kids, what we swished with in our mouths, what I sprinkled on their little baby bottoms. I didn't know. I didn't know any of what I'm going to tell you. And what I did know, though, was that we were sick. We were sick in every way that a family could be sick. We had repeat sinus infections, okay? We had repeat ear infections. We had repeat throat infections, headaches. Whenever anybody at school got sick, my kids were getting it too. Tonsils out. Missing a month of kindergarten. My daughter missed a month of kindergarten because she was in the hospital and too sick to go to school. 1 month of kindergarten. My 5-year-old. Hey, Donna. So when I tell you this is the most important message that I will ever tell you, it's because I learned it through experience and because since I know it, I'm not going to shut up about it. I'm going to scream it from the rooftops until I can no longer scream because it's important and because people need to know. Why do you go on Facebook mom sites and all every mom is doing is talking about how sick their kid is and what they can do? Every day, every day, every day. You go to work, the person next to you is coughing. And a lot of times, people think that those of us that are doing essential oils, they think that we're just shilling oils out to people. Like, hey, get a bottle of Thieves and you'll never be sick again. And, oh, just diffuse. And we get made fun of a little bit out there in the general public because people don't get it. And sometimes, even some of us don't get it. And so I want you to get it in a way that you've never gotten it before tonight. We're not just shilling bottles of oil here, and we're not making promises that you get this little bottle of oil and you'll never ever be sick again. Okay, Donna, it's all over the place. That's not what we're doing. That's not what this is about. Guys, I'm going to tell you what this is about. Okay? Don't mean to point at you. Let me get myself settled down. If you notice, I wore the sweatshirt in my last live video. That's because I'm a garbage person. And I just like to wear the same things over and over again because I like to be comfortable. And right now, this is comfortable. I'm going to tell you why we do what we do, okay? We do it because when I noticed that when this pile of crap left my house, we all felt better. When the pile of crap that used to be in my cabinets was gone, all of a sudden, all those throat infections were gone too. All of a sudden, oh, thanks, I'm not a garbage person. I actually kind of am, but it's okay. When all that garbage was gone, I stopped getting repeat sinus infections. Like I haven't had a sinus infection in 4 years. What I was doing without realizing it was I was poisoning my frickin' family so that we could smell like Bath and Body Works. I was poisoning my family so that we could smell like a Yankee Candle, so that we could smell every outlet in my house had a Glade plug-in. I didn't know back then what I was doing. It wasn't until I started to feel better, because I bought these stupid oils, right? And so I had to diffuse them. And then I started making a few changes because Mary told me to. It wasn't until I noticed for myself that we were starting to be sick and crappy and icky less that I was willing to even open my mind. Once you open your mind to the idea that maybe all of this garbage is contributing to why everybody is walking around so darn sick, why everybody has migraines and runny noses and ear infections and all kinds of crap. Once you open your mind and say, maybe there's a cause, maybe, then a whole bunch of things happen. Then you start to realize that 1 in 7 of us are infertile. 1 in 7 of us. You start to realize that 1 in 8 of us will get breast cancer. 1 in 8. It almost makes me tear, it does make me tear up. 1 in 8. I have 8 close friends in this group, and one of us is gonna get breast cancer. That's bullshit, guys. In 1960, it was 1 in 20. 1 in 59 of our kids right now has autism. 1 in 59. And in 1970, 1 kid in 10,000 had autism. 1 in 10,000. And right now it's 1 in 59. Brain cancer is up 70%. 70%. Thyroid cancer is up 155%. Prostate cancer, guys, is up 200%. 200. 95% of all cancer, this is coming from the American Cancer Association statistics. 95% of cancer is environmental. 95%. Only 5% is linked to genetics. 5%. So that leaves us all to say, why? Why? What is happening? I posted in the group a graph of statistics. Obesity, on the rise. Diabetes, on the rise. Breast cancer, on the rise. Autism, on the rise. What is happening? You superimpose on that graph the number of chemicals being produced in the United States, and guess what? They go up at equal rates. So maybe, just maybe, what we're slathering ourselves in and breathing every day in our houses, just maybe that's contributing. Once that light bulb goes off in your head, you're able to take a look at all of this stuff and ask, what's in it and what is it doing to me? Is that hard of a question? I think as moms, as empowered owners of our own bodies, we not only have the right to ask questions about what's in our stuff, but we have the right to demand answers as to why it's allowed and why in the heck everyone is too busy to figure it out and to ask those questions. I used to be one of those people too. It's time, guys, as moms, as empowered owners of our own bodies, that we get to the bottom of this once and for all. So I want to take you on a little shopping trip with me. And I want to talk to you about the choices that people have when they go to the grocery store. I would take you actually in my grocery store, but they would probably kick me out because I'd be bashing all of their products and my signal doesn't work in there, okay? But I'm going to take you on a little journey here and I'm going to show you some of the stuff in the store and I'm going to show you what you can do about it, because our kids are not taking their little Barbie cars and driving to the grocery store and buying the soap that we're washing them in and the sunscreen that we're spraying their little bodies with. They're not making those choices. We are. And the accumulative effect of all of the things that we are using in our homes every day are having an impact on our health. The last time your government passed a law to protect what goes in your products was in the 1970s. And look at the graph that I posted in the group of what has happened to cancer rates and autism rates since the 1970s. Go take a look at it. And while I'm on a roll about that, I want to talk to you about pink washing, or putting the pink ribbon on all kinds of products that you can get at the grocery store. I want to talk to you about the Susan Komen Foundation and their perfume specifically. So we have this organization whose life's mission is to fight against breast cancer. And who wouldn't get behind that, right? Except when you look a little deeper into it, you find out that the perfume that they were selling, the perfume that actually made them $1 million, $1 million. That perfume cost $59 a bottle, and $1.51 of it went to breast cancer research. But it gets better than that. 2 ingredients in their perfume are actually linked to breast cancer. 2 ingredients. Makes me sick to my stomach too, Michelle. Makes me absolutely sick to my stomach. No amount of shopping for any of those pink ribbon products are going to do anything to stop the breast cancer epidemic until we start asking questions about what is causing it in the first place. So step away from all of that garbage, all of that marketing that's designed to make money and not to actually solve the problem. Because if they actually cared about what was causing breast cancer, they wouldn't put breast cancer causing chemicals in their damn perfume. Okay? If there was a ba-boom, boom, tsh, that sound would be made right now. It pisses me off. Getting myself all worked up. So let's go shopping and let's find out how not to fall victim to the garbage, to the hype, because they know we're getting smarter. They know that we're demanding better things, and they're still tricking us at the grocery store. So let's go shopping. Let's go shopping. Let's start with cleaner, because you have to clean your house, right? So before I knew anything about what was happening with chemicals in our homes, I'd buy Lysol. It's all purpose, right? It cuts grease, it deodorizes, it kills 99% of germs. Don't worry, it'll kill you too. There's all sorts of warnings on here, guys. First aid warnings about if it gets in your eyes. It even tells you that you should contact poison control if you ingest this. There's special instructions for how to store it, like keep it away from children. And it tells you how to dispose of it, because they know that what they put in here is poison. They know, and they're warning you right here on their bottle, these precautionary statements. It causes substantial eye injury. So don't get it in your eyes. Thanks, Lysol. It causes allergic reactions in some people. Oh, really? Really? Guys, when you spray this garbage in your house, this lemon breeze scent, okay? The active ingredients, poison. Other ingredients. Now this is the interesting part on here. It lists the active ingredients 0.000 something percent, okay? Then it says other ingredients. The ones they're not telling you about, just they're other. Don't worry about what's in here. It's other, right? It's so insignificant we're not going to list out the ingredients. But don't worry, it's 99.89% of what's in here. Other. You know what other means? We're not going to tell you. Just buy this crap anyway and spray it near your kids. Spray it on your countertops. Spray it in your bathrooms where there's no ventilation and you're breathing it in. What am I breathing, Lysol? Don't you worry. It's other. You don't need to worry about what's in here. Is that acceptable to you? It's not acceptable to me. Not even a little bit. No thanks. How about no thanks? I call the cleaning aisle in my local grocery store now the poison aisle. I don't even go down it because people like Lysol think we're stupid. They think that they can put 99.89% of a bottle in here, call it other, and I'm gonna give them money to spray this around my kids. I don't think so. Not anymore. Not anymore. That one riles me up because how many people use this? How many daycare centers use this? How many schools use this every day? They don't have to tell you what is in a product if they call it fragrance. I asked the question when I advertised this Wellness Wednesday, what's the one ingredient that I avoid like the plague? And the reason is because every other ingredient that's out there, I can research. Every other ingredient, phthalates, parabens, what else? Propylene glycol. I can research those. Sodium lauryl sulfate. I can look them up and I can make decisions for myself, what I consider the level of risk involved, what the dangers are of those things. But I can't look up, I can't research, and I can't find out the dangers of other. I'm relying on them to decide for me that it's safe because I can't look up 99.89% of other. They must have me fooled for someone who doesn't know any better anymore. Not in my house. We make decisions about what comes into our homes because our kids aren't buying this stuff at the store. We know better. We can do better. We have to do better than this. So we think that we're going to do better, right? We think we're going to go to the store and we're going to get the natural stuff. We're going to get the method. This is actual real life. Like this is partly gone because at one point I thought I was doing better by buying this. But the fancy little thing that you find out about this, it has all the good buzzwords like natural. It's natural. It also has this fun little ingredient called fragrance oil and this other ingredient called synthetic colors because there's nothing in nature except for maybe Valor, blue tansy. It's not being dyed with blue tansy. They call this natural fragrance oil. But let me tell you something, friends. If this was fragranced and colored with blue tansy, they would put that on the label. They wouldn't put natural fragrance oil and expect you to believe that it's truly all natural. If it was scented with a plant, they'd put it on here. Because they don't, you know that it's synthetic. You know it's synthetic, and you also know that fragrance, that one ingredient, can have hundreds of chemicals that they are not required to disclose to you. So you can't make a decision for yourself and for your family about whether or not you're gonna use that in your home. That's a no for me. That's a no for me. So we've talked about what we're cleaning with in our houses. Let's talk about what we're putting on our kids. You go down the kid aisle and you pick up some Suave. Shampoo, conditioner, and body wash. It's hypoallergenic. Okay, so moms are thinking, oh, this is good for my kid. It's hypoallergenic. Let's talk about what's in here. Sodium lauryl sulfate is the second ingredient. Let's talk about sodium lauryl sulfate. It's in all kinds of soaps that you find in the soap aisle at the grocery store. You'll find this ingredient plentifully at the grocery store. You'll have no trouble. I bet if you have standard shampoo, standard soap in your house right now, if you go grab it and you take a look at what's on that label with me, you're going to find sodium lauryl sulfate. It's linked to cancer. It's linked to neurotoxicity, organ toxicity, skin irritation, and endocrine disruption. Sodium lauryl sulfate, Jess Dellinger, yes, it is what makes it foamy. It's the foaming agent that's in this stuff. So we're washing our kids every day in their little baths with their skin that's very thin, much thinner than an adult's. And we're washing our kids with ingredients that are linked to cancer, linked to endocrine disruption. Endocrine disruption has to do with your fertility, with your reproductive hormones. And we're washing our kids, or we used to wash our kids with this. Now, I appreciate actually that they put their ingredients on their product so that I can Google the safety of these things and I can read studies that have been done to tell me if this stuff is safe, because the government is not looking out for me. The government is not passing laws to make sure that ingredients like this are not in our products. So I need to do this work by myself. But also, there is fragrance or perfume in here. And again, that could be 300 chemicals. No idea what's in there. No idea whatsoever. So that's a no. How about no on that one? Let's talk about sunscreen for a second while we're on the topic of kids, because I thought that I was doing a good job because I found this brand of sunscreen. Okay? Now, I would recommend to you this brand of sunscreen because when I look at it, it has titanium dioxide and zinc oxide. Both of those are barrier sunscreens, meaning they actually block the sun's rays without the use of chemicals. And so that's a good thing, right? So yes to this. However, this looks a whole lot like this. And when you're shopping at Target or shopping at the store, it's easy to make a mistake between this and this. Guess how I know? Because this one is empty. Because I bought this by mistake. And I sprayed it on my kids and I didn't look at the ingredients. If you go to an ecological park, one where there's coral, they will check your sunscreen on the way in. And they will be looking for some ingredients because they know that certain ingredients in sunscreens are linked to the destruction of coral and it interferes with the reproductive hormones of sea creatures. There is actually sea creatures off the coast of California that morphed from having male sex characteristics to female when exposed to this chemical. So it's so serious that if you try to go to an ecological park, like my husband and I did in Mexico, they will check your sunscreen on the way in. They will look for this ingredient. If your sunscreen has this ingredient, they will take it away from you and they will make you buy their sunscreen because it's reef safe, because it won't kill coral and it won't interfere with the reproduction of sea creatures. But Go ahead, moms and dads, and spray oxybenzone and avobenzone on your kids every day when they go to the pool or when they play outside. This one has 3% avobenzone. This one doesn't. See how easy it is to make these mistakes? I consider myself a fairly informed person when it comes to chemicals, and I made this mistake. This one's full because I haven't used it yet. This one's empty because I sprayed this on my kids. This is the kind of garbage that really ticks me off, because why would this company make this? Put the word sensitive, and it even says right here, no oxybenzone. No oxybenzone, but it has avobenzone. It's all lies. It's all meant to try to confuse and distract us. I can't believe they would advertise they had no avobenzone, but know that no oxybenzone, but put avobenzone in it and think it's okay. No. We have some VO5 shampoo, okay? Greenwashing is evil, Jessica Quinn. We've got sodium lauryl sulfate, okay? We have all sorts of fragrance, and we have parabens. Parabens are cancer causing. They studied breast cancer tumors, and they examined them for the presence of a chemical, parabens, and a super high percentage of breast cancer tumors tested positive for parabens. How do you find parabens in your products? The end is a paraben: methylparaben, propylparaben, butylparaben. Those are all in the paraben family. They are directly linked to breast cancer, directly. Lindsay Blackburn posted the ingredients. She was staying at a hotel, and Lindsay, remind me of what that was. Was it a facial wipe that was full of like 5 different kinds of parabens in her hotel room, so we can wash our faces with this stuff? Think about the cumulative effects of all of these things that we're using every day. All right, are you ready for one of the most shocking ones of all? I'm a mom. I have Imodium AD in my house in case kids get diarrhea, right? Pay no mind to the fact that when your body has diarrhea, it knows what it's doing. It knows that something in your body is not right. It was a makeup remover wipe. Thanks, Lindsay. And thank you for posting that. That was super interesting. Your body has diarrhea because it knows that it needs to get rid of something, and it needs to get it as far away from you as possible, and it needs to flood your intestines with water to flush it out, to get it out of your system. Yes, that makeup wipe was complimentary, Lindsay. You should save that for your classes. Now, of course, our bodies can go overboard with diarrhea, and it can get dangerous. Okay, I'm not talking about that situation, because in that situation, you have to do what you have to do. But I'm talking about your normal, everyday, average. You ate something funky and your body knows what it's doing. It's acting on your own behalf by flushing whatever that is, whether it's a virus, something bad that you ate. Your body knows what it's doing by flushing that out of your system and flushing it out of your intestines. Your intestines absorb things. Your intestines are one of the places that really pull nutrients and chemicals, if you're eating chemicals, out of what's in there. So when your body is flushing it with water, you get diarrhea. It's getting rid of it for you. But we, in our infinite knowledge and wellness, will grab some Imodium AD, and we'll go, I think I'm going to stop you up, because your body doesn't know what it's doing. Imodium AD knows what it's doing. And so I'm going to give you a little spoonful of this, clog you right up. Okay? I used to do this. That's why I have it. Peel back the label, my friends. Peel back the label. What are we spooning into our mouths? What are we spooning into our children's mouths? Okay? Not every symptom, by the way, needs to be immediately stopped. Not every symptom needs to be stopped, plugged up, masked, disguised, meant to go away. Not every symptom is meant for that, especially not diarrhea. However, Next time you have diarrhea, I want you to think of this. I want you to go, thank you, diarrhea, for getting this nastiness out of my intestines. Thank you, body, for acting on my behalf, because you know better than me. Not the dangerous diarrhea, not the kind that's dehydrating you. That's a whole different story, but I'm talking your run-of-the-mill diarrhea, okay? All right, guys, what's the problem here? Why can't I find it? Hold on. I'm gonna find it. They make you look for it here. Keep out of reach of children, okay? Call poison control if they drink too much. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay. You want to know what the inactive ingredients are? Well, there's a little yellow number 10. That's cool. What do artificial colors do for us? Well, they increase our risk of sensitivity and irritation. They're carcinogens. They're linked to hyperactivity, thyroid, and kidney tumors. That's cool. Have a little teaspoon of Imodium AD and a little kidney tumor on the side. No problem. My most favorite ingredient in here, oh, it has blue number 1 also, because it has to be colored pretty. Has to be colored pretty so that it looks pretty on the store shelf so that you buy it, okay? We can't have it be like a natural color. The blue and the yellow actually do nothing in this product to make it do anything except for stand out on that store shelf so that you put it in your cart, okay? And so what if it causes little kidney tumors? It's okay because you're only gonna be taking this hopefully every now and then, right? And my favorite ingredient that this stuff has is propylene glycol. Propylene glycol in children's Imodium AD. What's propylene glycol? I'm so glad you asked. It's the same ingredient that you can find in antifreeze. If you go in your garage and you look at a tub of antifreeze, you will find that what it actually is propylene glycol. It's poison. People poison other people's animals, sick, terrible people. They put it in like a dog dish. You can read stories of this happening every now and then. And the dog will lap it right up. The reason they do that is because it tastes really sweet and good. And then they die because it's poison. Well, there's only a little bit. How much? Just a little bit of poison in here to make it taste sweet enough. Just a little bit of artificial color to make it look pretty enough that your kid will swallow it when they have diarrhea. And it'll work. It'll stop their diarrhea right up. At what cost? At what cost? How much propylene glycol is safe to ingest? Nobody really knows that. Nobody really knows that. It's also in children's Tylenol too, by the way, guys. Propylene glycol, you can find it in children's Tylenol too. Why isn't it in adult Tylenol? Because they don't need to make adult Tylenol sweet. And my friends think I'm crazy because I'd rather use tummy jies or Digize. Whatever, friends. While we're on the subject of kids, let's talk about a little bit of this Colgate Kids anti-cavity fluoride rinse. What is in this? Fluoride, which is a whole other story. Oh, third ingredient. Guess what, guys? Propylene glycol. You want to swish with a little antifreeze, guys? It's got some red number 33 sucralose. We got some fake sugar. Is this irritating you? Is this making you angry? As angry as it's making me? Here's the best one. How about some talc? How about some Johnson's baby powder? So the ingredients in this, guys, I think there's only 2 ingredients in this talc, or I'm sorry, in this baby powder. It's talc and fragrance. 2 ingredients. Yep, we wonder why we have so many autoimmune diseases. So there was a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Johnson's, the corporation, because there were women who got ovarian cancer. And I don't know how they discovered this, but they all got together and discovered that they all used baby powder in their genital region, okay? Trying to freshen up and maybe deal with a little sweat and wanting to stay, you know, fresh and clean. So they sprinkle this crap. My Nana used to sprinkle this. She used to powder her whole body. You would walk in her bathroom and it was like a white cloud. You couldn't even see her little body because she was just powdering herself all over the place. Talc. It's also in a lot of commercial eyeshadows, in a lot of blushes. Well, these women all had ovarian cancer, and they found out that there had been studies that directly linked talc, and specifically the use of talc in the genital region, to ovarian cancer in women. If you've ever known anyone who's gotten ovarian cancer, it's one of those silent killers. You don't know you have it until you have symptoms of it. And by the time you have symptoms of it, there's almost no saving you. And most of the people who I have personally known that have found out they had ovarian cancer were gone from this earth within months. And so these women got together, they sued Johnson & Johnson, they won. I can't remember the exact amount of the judgment, but it was like $156 million. And it wasn't because Johnson & Johnson put talc in their products and it caused ovarian cancer. That's a terrible thing to happen by itself. But the judgment was like 100 and something million, maybe it was 200 million, I can't remember, but it was in the hundreds of millions. They were awarded such a high judgment, not because a terrible mistake had happened, but because Johnson & Johnson's knew that talc was linked to ovarian cancer, and they did nothing about it. Not only did they do nothing about it, but they actually suppressed the information so that it wouldn't get out. Yet, if you go to your grocery store, you can still buy it, and you can still sprinkle it on your baby's butt. Somewhere in America right now, there's a mom thinking she's keeping her baby free from a diaper rash by sprinkling this all over her parts. Because people don't know. So when people say, oh, you sell oils, how cute. No, I don't. This is what I do. Educating people about this is what I do. It's more significant. It's going to have a greater impact. I teach people that they have choices, that there are alternatives, and that we can alter the course of not only our lives, but we can actually change. We can change generations to come by making sure that people know this information. That's what we do, guys. I don't sell bottles of lemon. Anyway, do I have to keep going here? Because I got some Colgate toothpaste. Colgate toothpaste. We turn over the ingredients and what do we have? Triclosan. Triclosan. That's an ingredient. It was banned from use in hand soap. Can't use it in hand soap. But you can put it in toothpaste. Why? I don't know. I don't think they have an explanation for that. It causes abnormal endocrine and thyroid function. So it messes with your reproductive hormones. It weakens your immune system. It's been linked to allergies. It's been linked to asthma, and it's been linked to eczema. But it's in our toothpaste. So maybe if it was just in our toothpaste, it wouldn't make a big difference. But the fact that it's in our toothpaste and that there's poisonous chemicals in our cleaners and in our, why can't I think? What's this called? Our mouth swish. Why am I having a brain fart? Mouthwash. What the heck is wrong with me right now? And there's chemicals in our medicines and in our body washes. Oh, here we have sodium lauryl sulfate again. We have fragrance. We have red number 33, blue number 1. And that is just the short list of what's in here. It's in our body wash. Let's talk about Mrs. Meyer's Clean Day dish soap. This has a word that I cannot pronounce. It is methylsothiazolinone. Methylthiazanone. It's about this big. You can't find a dish soap that doesn't have this in it. And it has been directly linked to killing aquatic life when it goes down the drains and into our sewer systems. You'll notice that this has a number 9 on it. That's because there used to be an app that made this stuff a lot more simple for us. There used to be an app called Think Dirty, and we could scan things, okay? We could scan things, and that app, I have to dig out, I have this box of poison next to me here. Oh God, it stinks so bad. I could die. This app used to give us a number from 1 to 10 based on how poisonous something was. And you could scan a barcode and it would give you a number. Here's the problem. That app got bought out. It got bought out. And now if you scan the same thing, it'll give you a way lower number. Like I scanned this sunscreen that has avobenzone in it and it scanned as a 4. So I don't recommend that app anymore because you can't trust it. We have to be even more savvy now than we ever used to be because we can't even rely on the same tools that we used to be able to rely on to tell us what's garbage at the grocery store. Last thing I'm going to tell you here is laundry soap. This stuff is designed to stay in our clothes. It's designed not to wash out. It has optical brighteners in it, and that is meant to stay in your clothes. We all have clothes that stick to our bodies because we wear clothes almost 24/7, right? And so our skin is absorbing all of the chemicals that are in our laundry soap. And laundry soap is one of those things where they don't tell you what's in here. They say active ingredients, but they sure do caution you a whole bunch. Michelle Davis asked a very good question. What is a better app? Michelle, I wish I had an answer for you that made it simple. There isn't one because the Environmental Working Group, they were like, maybe, and they're still worth checking, but the Environmental Working Group also called this sunscreen not a big hazard. And the research that I've done on avobenzone tells me it is a big hazard, so I don't have an app I can trust. What I know is that I have to ask questions about what's coming into my house. And because of stuff like this switcheroo right here that tricked me, I know that when I'm buying products, I need to buy them from a company that doesn't sell any garbage in their stuff. Like Alba Botanica, I wish that I could just trust them that their products were clean, and so that once I determined that something like this was actually okay to use, that I wouldn't accidentally go to Target and buy this. It looks so similar, and then get home and find out after I sprayed my kids with it for a summer that it's actually toxic and poisonous. So do I recommend Alba Botanica sunscreen anymore? No, because if they make a non-toxic version of this, then why in the heck are they putting toxins in other things? So I think that what we have to do now is find companies that don't put toxic ingredients in their products at all, and then we don't need to worry. And the only company so far that I have found that hasn't somehow sold out to all these other chemical companies, all of these organic companies that are actually being purchased by all of these big name brands, that's Young Living for me. And I'm willing to make different choices in our family. I will be the first one to admit that this stuff I can get for a few bucks at the grocery store. And so a lot of people go ahead and get this because they can buy it for a few bucks. And they look at something like Young Living laundry soap and they say, well, that's 20 something bucks. And so I don't think so. And this is what I have to say to that. Is there a way that you could spend your money that would have more of an impact on your health than making sure that what you're putting on your family's skin in their mouths, on their bodies, what you're washing with, what you're spraying them with, what you're giving them when they're sick, okay? Is all of this and all of the toxic exposure worth saving whatever it is that we're saving? Is it worth it, moms? Are you willing to say, it's okay, you're not worth it, I just can't do it, while we walk around with $900 cell phones and we drive $50,000 vehicles and we live in houses that are a couple $100,000? No. Not only that, but if you're truly pinching pennies, and don't think that I don't get it, and don't think that there are difficult decisions happening in grocery stores all over America. I'm not so naive to think that there aren't difficult decisions to be made, but two things I'll say about that. One is that Young Living products are so concentrated that if you need to stretch them, you can. I just did a post the other day on that one bottle of laundry soap that you can turn into 3 bottles of laundry soap, and then it only becomes a few dollars per bottle because you're able to stretch it. And you're able to do that with the kids' body wash too. You can take a foaming pump and you can spread that out. So there are ways to spread your dollar so that you're using non-toxic stuff and you're not breaking the bank. If you can't afford it, you can also share this message with other people so that you have a way to afford it. Young Living has such a generous compensation plan for people who share so that people have a way to afford their wellness so that they don't have to make a decision between cancer-causing chemicals and the choices that they're able to make for their families. There's options. You can spread this to other people. You can help them with this information. This is different than selling pots and pans or nail stickers. This is different than selling toxic makeup or perfumes or jewelry. This is different because this is a message that I can get behind 100%. This is a message that makes my cheeks pink, that makes my blood pressure go up. It's a message that people need to hear because our friends are dying. Our moms are dying. People that we care about, we are losing because nobody's talking about this. And so this isn't like a little job of selling oils to me. This is a mission. This is something that we all need to share because these statistics, they're not lying. These statistics are real and we're losing people. And we can do something about it by the choices that we are making. So I do not hesitate one single bit when I am loading up my Essential Rewards cart with Thieves all natural vegetable-based cleaners. I'm not stressing about that. I'm not stressing about the laundry soap. I'm not stressing about washing my kids in stuff that I know that I can trust, that doesn't have artificial fragrances and artificial colors and toxic chemicals. I'm not going to stress about all that. And because I share this message and I share it with my heart and I share it with so many people, I don't have to worry. I don't have to worry about how I'm going to cover it all because I just do. It's covered and I don't have to worry about it. So, turn around the ingredient labels on your stuff. Ask these questions. Start to research things. I'm going to give you a list to take with you at the grocery store. I'm going to give you a list of things to look for so that when you turn over the ingredient list on your products, you have an idea of what to look for. You can save this in your phone. You can write it down on a piece of paper. You can stick it in your purse, but you're going to know what to look for, okay? You're going to look for synthetic colors. Those are going to look like red number something or yellow number something, okay? By the way, there was in Kraft macaroni and cheese, yellow number 6, I believe, linked directly to cancer. By the way, a lot of these ingredients are not allowed in products in Europe. They're not allowed in products because they're a lot more ingredient aware, and they're against the law actually in most of the European Union, but they're allowed in products in the United States. So yellow number 6, there was a lady named Food Babe. She has a big social media following. She made a stink about why yellow number 6 is in Kraft macaroni and cheese, because it's like a rite of childhood. Who doesn't give their kids Kraft macaroni and cheese? I don't. But anyway, every kid, I grew up on it. It's directly linked to cancer. And Food Babe made a big enough stink about it, and she got enough moms informed about it that they started boycotting Kraft macaroni and cheese, and they put enough pressure on Kraft that they ditched yellow number 6 and they replaced it with the same ingredient that they used to sell macaroni and cheese in Europe. So moms can band together. We can take information. We can make a difference and make a change. When we know better, we demand better, and we do better. And we demand these companies that we're buying this garbage from, we demand better of them. And when enough of us stand together and demand a change happens. Damn it, it happens, okay? Like I said, damn it, this is serious. Synthetic colors, put it back on the shelf. Don't put it on your skin. Fragrance, for God's sakes. Fragrance, put it back. This is going to eliminate almost everything from that entire aisle of the grocery store because it's in everything. Hundreds of chemicals in one word, fragrance, and they don't have to tell you. When you get finished here, I want you to find on Netflix the documentary called Stink and watch it. It starts off with a single dad who has young daughters, who ordered pajamas from Justice, opened up the plastic packaging that they came in, detected an unbelievable odor of chemical, and asked the question, "What is this that I am smelling?" He called Justice. He tried to find out what the chemical was. They wouldn't tell him. He made a whole bunch of phone calls, a whole bunch of other things. They told him it was proprietary, but it's 100% safe. He said, "How do you know it's safe?" And they said, "Because it wouldn't be put in children's clothing if it wasn't safe." He sends the clothing off to a lab. The lab comes back and tells him what is actually in that clothing. And there are several chemicals in the clothing that are banned for the use in children's clothing, specifically banned because they're so poisonous. And one of them is a flame retardant that's directly linked to cancer. That was his light bulb moment. Then he started asking all of these questions about all of these other things. And I want you to remember 1 in 7 of us are infertile. I want you to remember that 1 in 8 of us will get breast cancer. In 1960, it was 1 in 20. I want you to remember that 1 in 59 kids right now have autism. And in 1970, that was 1 in 10,000. So this dad went on the same mission that a lot of us are on, to say what is in our products. He tells the story of this boy who was in middle school who was having anaphylactic reactions to Axe body spray, because I used to be a teacher of middle school, and I can tell you it is a stinky age. Like, I don't know what happens in 7th grade, but it's not so good. So a lot of boys are spraying themselves with Axe body spray. This boy was having anaphylaxis. Throat would close, couldn't breathe in the presence of Axe body spray. They wrote to the company and asked them, "Will you please disclose what's in this product? Because my son is having life-threatening reactions. He actually needs to be homeschooled because it's so toxic to him that he can't even go to school." And Axe body spray said that whatever the chemicals were, one ingredient called fragrance, whatever the hundreds of chemicals were that were made up of that one ingredient that they do have to disclose, fragrance, they wouldn't tell him. They wouldn't tell him. He still doesn't know. He explained to them that it was life-threatening and that he needed to know so that he knew what to avoid in other products that could kill him if he was exposed. And they wouldn't tell him. They wouldn't tell them because they had nothing good to tell. Because if there was not poison in these products, the makers of these products would tell us what was in them, guys. They would list the ingredients. They wouldn't need to say fragrance. If it was lavender oil making it smell, they would put oil of lavender. If it was eucalyptus making it smell, they would put eucalyptus. Guys, it's not those things. It's a slurry of chemicals that they're mixing together, and many of them have never been tested on humans. We have no health and safety data for them, and they won't even tell us what they are so that we can make decisions about whether or not we want to apply that stuff to our skin. And people are going to the grocery store, and they're loading up their carts, and they have no idea. The stuff that we know is in this stuff has been linked to terrible things. And we have no idea about the ingredients they're not telling us. They're just calling it fragrance, and we have no idea. Triclosan, that's another one you want to watch out for. Put that one back. That one is linked to all sorts of abnormal endocrine function and infertility. Sodium lauryl sulfate and sodium lauryl sulfate. Put that on your list. Walk away from that at the store. Toluene, Toluene, that is in all sorts of nail treatments. This, by the way, you notice I have my nails done. This is non-toxic dip powder. It is not nail polish because I won't use toluene. That causes dizziness, headaches, irritation, liver and kidney damage. Propylene glycol, that friendly little chemical that's in our children's Tylenol and in our Imodium AD. You want to stay away from that. That leads to toxic kidneys and liver. Sunscreen chemicals like oxybenzone and avobenzone. Put those back. Basically put them back unless they're zinc oxide barrier creams. Phthalates, that's PHTHALATES. These are hard to find. These are in deodorants, perfumes, colognes, hairsprays, moisturizers, air fresheners, and detergents. And it's a whole class of chemicals. And a lot of times it doesn't say phthalates. It's listed as PEG something. Those are hard to find, but those cause damage to your liver, your kidneys, and your reproductive system. Formaldehyde, it's in nail polish, body wash, conditioners, shampoos. That's a respiratory irritant. It's what they embalm bodies with. It causes asthma, allergies, and cancer. And parabens. Parabens mimic estrogen. They're directly linked to breast cancer. They've been found in breast cancer tumors, and they cause reproductive toxicity. Jessica wants my list. I will give it to you, my friend. I will do a post. Guys, know better, do better. I want you to tag people in this video that you want to see this information. I want this video to be shared and watched. I want you to go watch the documentary Stink and open up your mind to the idea that just perhaps, if we put enough pressure on these companies and we vote with our dollars and we choose products that are going to boost our health and not take our health away, that we can actually make an impact on these numbers. We can actually 2019 be the year that all of these increasing numbers start to go down. Maybe 2019 will be the year that all of us get together and decide, not me, thank you very much. I don't want to be that 1 in 8. I don't want to be the 1 in whatever of these statistics. I want to cause generational change. We can do that if we stick together and if we share this information. This is about more, guys. This is about more than lemon oil. This is about recognizing in our houses that we need to make a shift and we need to stop using artificial chemicals to make our houses and our workplaces and our cars smell good. And we need to start transitioning. And Jessica, yes, and teach our kids that there are choices, there are options out there, and that we vote with our dollars, and that everything we do is either a vote for health or a vote for disease. And we have that choice. So guys, I hope you have a fantastic night. Know that for every one of these products that I showed you, there is an alternative product that that does not have chemicals in it, that does not have artificial fragrances, that does not have propylene glycol, and does not have sodium lauryl sulfate. Young Living would never use any of these chemicals that I just listed. Not in a single product that they make ever, ever, ever. It's not in the makeup. It's not in the perfume. Young Living doesn't sell perfume, but it's not in the room spray. It is not in the linen spray. Sorry. It's not in the laundry soap. It's not in the cleaner. It's not in the kids' body wash. It's not in any of that stuff. So now I need to just take a deep breath. I need to have a glass of wine and settle down. Spread this message. Tag your friends, because we can make a shift. We can. Tell them to watch Stink. And when their minds open up, that's when we're going to make a difference. Thank you so much for being here. I know there were a lot of comments I didn't see because I was just going off and I was ranting tonight, and that's cool. I have to draw a name. I'm going to give some of you a love potion number 9. Okay? Go shout this stuff from the mountaintops. Yes, Lindsay Blackburn. Who wants a love potion number 9? Who wants a love potion? Guys, you can put this on your inner thighs. Start like halfway down your thigh. You can also rub this under your navel. Helps with circulation. Okay? Who wants a love potion? Who commented on my post? I gotta wrap this up, guys. This is taking too long. Lucinda Beers, are you here? Are you here, Lucinda? Lucinda just got engaged. I don't know if she needs love potion right now. I don't know if she needs it. So Lucinda here. Guys, if I owe you a prize, just know I'm like kind of behind. I've got them here with your names on them, and I'm just a little behind. Sorry. It's been crazy. But you're getting them, I promise. They're coming. They're coming. Who else? Lucinda, you're not here. Allie Witt, you're here. I see your comment right there. Allie, you just got this love potion number 9. You got it. I'm going to put it over here with your name on it. Congratulations, Allie. All right, guys, I am going to be live in my business group. If you're over there, join me live right now. We're going to talk about events. If you're not, you should be. We have lots of fun. We're on a mission to spread this to everybody. Have a good night. Thank you so much for being here. Tag somebody who needs to see this. Love you guys. Bye.